Good morning, everybody. We have about 1 more minute until we get started. Find a comfortable chair, ideally one with a straight back, nice and upright, and no armrests if you can. I will be back. I'm just gonna see if I can make the lighting a little bit less bright. Yeah, this helps. Still bright, you can see me, but hopefully a little bit better. I hope my chair doesn't make too much weird sounds. All right. You can get anything you need right now, water, maybe your coffee. I got my coffee close by. Make sure you're in comfortable clothing. See my feet. There we go. All right, let's get started. So welcome to the Cowichan Brain Injury Society's 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up program. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is a nonprofit organization that serves brain-injured individuals as well as their supports throughout the Cowichan Valley. We provide a ton of different services, from rehab and education to social programming and more. Our 10, 10, and 10 morning wake-up program is a way for you to start your week off, your day off right, while getting 10 minutes of movement, 10 minutes of learning, and 10 minutes of mindfulness. These coincide with some of the 6 pillars of brain health, 3 of them in particular, which is physical activity, cognitive stimulation, and stress management. I am Billy. I'm the registered kinesiologist at Cowichan Brain Injury Society. Now, a couple of reminders. You want to make sure you are safe here in your space. So make sure it's clear of clutter, that you're able to extend your arms to the sides and out in front of you, as well as your legs, and that you're not going to be on a slippery or uneven surface. We will do all the exercises both in the chair and some of them standing. So you'll always be able to stay seated if you're not able to stand, but there will be standing options for some of the exercises. Cowichan Brain Injury Society is not liable for any risk or injury. So it is really important for you to listen to your body. If something is feeling painful, a movement, just go to where you start noticing and then come back. Don't push into the pain. What else can I say? Like I said, I'd like you, if possible, in a straight back, kind of hard surface chair where you can be at the edge of the chair, and we're trying to engage our core, keeping our posture nice and upright throughout the 10 minutes of movement. And ideally no arm rests, if possible. So we're gonna actually do some pushing into the chair. So hopefully that's not a challenge for you. Having something, if you're trying to work on doing more standing, but your balance is a little bit challenged still, you can have a countertop, a chair close by. You can go to the back of your chair while we're doing some exercises. All right, I hope I covered everything. Let's get started. I always like to have some music to help me with my movement. So I have an earbud in, and I'm going to press play here while we get moving. You can have a stereo or DVD or CD player, whatever it is. Now, anything you want, if you want some music, or if you're okay with the quiet, that's great too. All right, I'm going to press play here and we'll get started. All right, we're going to just do some side reaches here. So we're going to take our right hand, reach across to the left side of our body, left across the right. We're going to do each exercise for about 30 seconds. Nice work. A little twist here, but not too much. You can do this standing with more of a twist. Nice work. Couple more seconds. Good work. Okay. We're going to extend our leg out in front of us. Lifting, knee up, extending our leg. Standing. I'll go sideways too. Nice work. Couple more seconds. All right, we're going to keep kind of doing this, but a little bit different. We're going to stay seated for this one. So we're lifting, straightening out, and now we're just doing this knee flexion and extension. Good. I'm just going to do about 10 seconds on each one. This will really get your quads firing. Should feel it. As well as your hamstring. Trying to bring your ankle as close as you can to your buttocks. Okay, other leg. Up. Nice work. Just about 10 seconds here. Good work. Almost there. Good work. Okay, we're going to keep with kind of similar movement now. We're going to extend our leg out in front. We're really on the edge of the chair here. We're going to stay seated, and we're just bringing straight up. Good. Now we're going to make this more challenging. Should be already pretty challenging. Trying to keep our posture straight. We're engaging our core as that comes up. Now we're going to hold up and pulse just for about 5 seconds. Whew. Good work. All right, done. Other leg. It's nice and straight. We're using our hip flexors here. So there's some deep muscles, help flex our hip. Nice work. A little bit longer here. You can have your hands here supporting you. The back, keeping your back straight. Okay, up. Pulse for 5 seconds. Woo. Good job. Okay, we're going to do some just knees to the side here. This actually gets our ankles involved as well as our hips. If we're doing this standing, I want you to try to do circles. This you can hold on to a surface if this feels kind of unsteady because you're shifting your weight to different areas of your feet. Go the other way if you're standing. Keep going if you're seated. Getting both our hips as well as our ankles involved here. Nice work. Almost there. All right, good job. Okay, we're going to do something challenging and different today. So again, we're hoping we don't have those arm rests here because we're actually going to go swing our legs to one side, have one butt cheek falling off of the chair. Hand can support you on the back of the chair. We're going to try and slide this leg back. Bring our knee forward. To keep it challenging, really challenging, don't put your foot on the ground. But if you need to, you can have a rest at the back there. Bring it up. Yes, you can see how this can be slower. Trying to get our leg as far back as possible to get some hip extension. Let's go for 10 more seconds here. Then we'll switch sides. You should be looking forward. Great, we're gonna switch sides. Bring our knees to the other side, buttocks off of the chair, holding ourselves supported here. Extending our leg back, bringing it up to the other leg. Extending back, up. As far as we can. Good. If you want to make it more challenging, we're not going to put our foot down. Nice work. We're going to go for about 10 more seconds. Nice work. Almost there. What you going to do? 2 more seconds. Great. Good. Okay, let's just draw some O's with our toes here. Ankles going the other way. We're not going for a full 30 seconds here. Switch feet. Big O's with your toes as best as you can. Trying to exaggerate that movement. Going at a pace that feels right for you. Really innervate those muscles. So if you have a hard time with bringing your toes up, just go in as much as you can, slowly. Good. Okay, let's bring those feet down. Should get some arms involved, shouldn't we? Yes. Let's bring our arms out to a T here. And we're just going to flutter them here. Flutter. Good. Nice work. If you want, you can try and get your feet involved to get your heart rate going a little bit more. Remember, that's the aim, is we're trying to get our heart rate up just a bit. Give it a couple more seconds. Okay, out in front. I'm going to do bigger now. Instead of just the little flutters, we're doing a bigger. See how high you can get? It's comfortable. You could kick out your legs here. Nice work, keeping yourself strong. Our core is engaged. Keeping that posture nice and upright. Awesome. We're going to do that goalpost position. Bring our elbows to the side, then up into the goalpost. Elbows squeeze into the side. Up. Nice work. Keep it up. A couple more seconds here. Okay, we're going to go into our front crawl here. So one arm's coming back, then up. The other arm. You can have a little hip hinge here, like you're swimming. Maybe some of you got out swimming this weekend. It was very hot. I jumped into a glacier lake this weekend. It's very cold. Keep it up. We're almost there. Nice work, one more. Awesome. Okay, now we're going to keep our arms up. Think about grabbing something, squeezing our shoulder blades together. Like a row here. Hands are kind of in line with our armpits. And if this is too challenging, you can come down low. That's fine. We're really trying to get those shoulder blades, our scapula engaged here. Nice work. All right. Okay, the next exercise, we're going to plant our hands on our chair somewhere here. And we're actually going to lift our bottoms up by pushing our hands in the chair. I actually want our feet, we're kind of balanced on the balls of our feet here. So that'll get our legs engaged too. Some plantar flexion. So we're going to be pushing our toes into the ground and the balls of our feet. We lift ourselves up, down. Compressing our abdominal here. You'll feel a little bit of a squeeze. Nice work. Lifting your buttocks as far as you can off the chair, but without really extending our knees too much. We're still getting a little bit of a push into the ground here. A couple more seconds. Nice work. Let's do a few more. Nice job. Awesome. Okay, we're going to do a little hug here and then bringing our arms back. Ourselves a hug and back. Hug. You can switch which arm is on top. Try to do that. That's good for our brains. We probably have a default that we want to do. Good work. Let's try to make this more challenging by adding in a side step. Good. Adding in another movement makes it more challenging. We're almost there. Good. This will be our last movement for today. My chair's a little creaky, isn't it? Almost there. All right. Shake it out. Shake it out in your legs. And stop your music. I'll put mine in a little pocket back of my shorts here. Stick that in there. I'm going to bring my chair a little bit closer while we chat. And a sip of my water. Everybody else, grab a sip of your water. Hope you got your heart rate up there a little bit. I was going to check. I got mine up a little bit. And we've been doing a lot of exercises where our arms are up. So you might be feeling it in our shoulders, our biceps and our triceps as we keep our deltoids, as we keep those hands up, as well as for our upper back. Whenever we do that, we really want to think about those shoulders rolled back but light, hanging from that joint there. But our heart open, chest open, while we have our arms up in different positions. That's building endurance in those muscles. All right, we're continuing our conversation about cognitive stimulation. So we are going to talk today about incremental learning, which is kind of a process that can be used to really help solidify knowledge as well as to understand complex information. So there's kind of 5 main steps to incremental learning, which we'll go through, but let's just dive into it. So the first step is called decomposition. So it's taking a task that is complex and breaking it into smaller steps. So if you are learning something new, we want to break it down into different steps, starting with easier information first. It makes complex topics digestible into smaller chunks, and then we build on it, which is the second step, which is progressively elaborate. So we continue to build on top of the information we learned. So let's see, we're learning a new board game. And luckily, in board games, they have it all laid out for you, right? They have the equipment you need, the purpose of the game, how you set it up, then gameplay, etc. So it's actually broken up into these incremental chunks for you already. It's already done that decomposition. So what we'll first do is just literally start with the introduction to the game. What is the equipment we need? Then the second is we're going to build on that. How is the different pieces of the game used, right? That could be the setup. That is doing this progressive elaboration. So you can see how that kind of builds on top of each other, and then you get to the next piece. And you can literally do this, if you're learning a new game, spend 10 minutes reading a bit, the first bit, and kind of understanding it, going through the pieces, etc. And then later in the day or the next day, you can reread up the different pieces, and then the second is setting up. Okay, set up the game. Again, just doing that process can be really helpful for the brain. Then you put it away, come back to it. So the third step is spaced repetition. So as I was just discussing there, if you're coming back to information, doing those first steps again, that's that spaced repetition. You've given it some time, but then you're going back to repeat it. So it helps with recall, and you review the previous information. So you're integrating those more simple, more basic foundational pieces of whatever it is you're learning, and then building on it and always repeating what you last learned to help that recall. Then you have step step in quotation is active recall. This is when you don't just reread it. So now you're going to try and set it up on your own. So again, if we're talking about a board game, you might have, now you've read through all the different chunks, you've repeated it a couple times, maybe this is over many days. And then the next thing you're going to do is you're going to try to set it up without reading the, not the rules, but the directions. So you're going to try to do it out on your own. You're going to, as you're doing it, name the different pieces. These are the action cards or whatever it is. So trying to name and recall all the things you learned, explaining the purpose of the game, what you're trying to achieve, etc. That's that active recall. We're not just rereading it. We are trying to pull it from our brains. I know I can be a little guilty of just like going and looking for the information instead of actually recalling it, which, let's say for me, the different muscles of the body and knowing where they attach specifically. I know the general of, this muscle attaches around here and over here kind of thing, but the actual bony landmarks, or specifically say what vertebrae they're attached to, sometimes I just go look it up, and I should be trying to dig for that information, or should. It would be beneficial for my learning if I tried to actively recall that information before I checked my work. So if I was looking for trapezius muscle, I might say, oh, it attaches all the way from T1 down to wherever. This is where I would be, look it up. But like try to write it out maybe, make my best guesses, and then see if I'm right or not. That would be the active recall. The next thing is feedback and review. So now if you're teaching yourself something, this might be a little bit more difficult, but if you are in some type of learning environment, this is a great time where people might point out where you could do some extra work. You might be able to do this yourself. Again, if you're trying to learn the rules of a new game, you might be trying to set it all up, explain the rules. Again, it can be to somebody else or even out loud to yourself. And then when you go back to review the content, how well did you do? This area I struggled with. I didn't quite get what the action cards do, right? So you can highlight this. I need to put a little bit more energy into this one area. For me, it might be, we're talking about muscles, it's like, I'm having a hard time recalling this, or I definitely got this wrong. Maybe I need to spend some more time understanding this piece, right? Or this muscle group. So you can see how these things can really help to integrate knowledge, challenge you in kind of a formulated way. So I hope that can be helpful. This incremental learning is shown to be a really beneficial way of acquiring knowledge and makes complex topics a lot more digestible. I want to remind you again that with any cognitive stimulation, it's that resistance that when it gets hard, when I'm having a hard time understanding this piece or not recalling this, is when the learning really takes place. The new neural networks are being formed. Your brain is changing. The neurons are changing. The structures in your brain are changing and developing. It's during that hard time, the resistance, where the magic kind of happens. I just am going to repeat that throughout the month, mostly for myself, to be honest, to remind myself that those hard times are when things are really happening in the brain. All right, so that's incremental learning. I hope you can figure out a way to use that in your life if there's something you're trying to learn that's new. If you need support with any of these things, please talk to us at Cowichan Brain Injury Society. We might be able to make a plan for you. And as you know, often after brain injury, learning can be more challenging. You might feel more of that resistance than you used to, and that can be hard, but that's your brain putting down new neural connections, rewiring, reworking itself. And it can be hard to sometimes make things into more smaller steps. So if you need support with that kind of thing, please come talk to us at Cowichan Brain Injury Society. We can help you do that. All right. We're going to get into our mindfulness practice here. I want you to get comfortable in your chair, whatever that looks like. Maybe grab a cushion. I might actually put my blanket down here. Okay. Get yourself comfortable. And as per usual, let's start with putting one hand on our chest, one hand just above our belly button. I'm going to start with noticing our breathing. Noticing the rise and fall of your chest. The rise and fall of your belly in that lower hand. You can soften your gaze here, or close your eyes. Just connecting to your breath here. Awesome. Slowing down a little bit. Though if you're trying to more energize yourself, you can still have a slow breath, but make your inhales longer than your exhales if you're trying to stimulate your system. Or if you're trying to really slow down your nervous system, extending that exhale. If you notice any thoughts coming into your head, letting them pass by like clouds in the sky or cars on the road, trying not to give them too much attention, letting them just flow by and coming back to your breath. Stay breathing there for a moment. Okay, today we're going to do some light movement with our breathing. So this is based in some Tai Chi practice where we will use our breath to guide our movement. So still with our hand, one hand on our chest and one hand just above our belly button. On our next exhale, inhale. Then our next exhale, we're going to expand our arms out. Inhale, come back in. Exhale out. Inhale in. Going at whatever pace feels right for you. Again, maybe you're trying to lengthen an inhale or exhale, but using our movement and our breathing to guide one another. Exhaling, expanding out. Inhaling, bringing energy back in. Awesome work. Let's keep this up for a little bit longer. Again, going at your own pace. Okay, this next one, do one more. Once you've done one more, land those hands on your body again. Awesome. Now you're going to put your arms out your side, and we're going to try to think of our arms being like wings. So again, on our next exhale, they float up. Inhale, coming down. Exhaling, floating up. Inhaling, coming down. Nice work. Moving at your own pace. only bringing your arms up as high as comfortable for your body. Letting your breath guide your movement. So it's letting the movement guide your breath. So we'll do a few more here. Awesome. Okay, come to the edge of your chair after you do one more. Okay, coming to the edge of your chair, feet are planted firmly on the ground. And the next movement we're going to do is we're going to exhale, push out to our right side. Inhale, come back around. Exhale, out, in, come around. Exhale out, in, circling around back to our body. Thinking about moving energy here. Exhaling out, inhaling around. Again, going at your own pace, what feels good for you here. Awesome. Let's do two more this way. Exhaling, pushing the energy out and away. Inhaling, bringing it back into yourself. Exhaling out. Inhaling back and around. Come back to center. We're going to go the other direction. So we're pushing out to our right. We're pushing out to our left. Then circling around to the right and back in. Exhaling out. Inhaling, circling, coming back in. Again, letting the breath guide your movement. Movement guide your breath. Trying to get a bit of a weight transfer here. I'm going to push out to the side. My buttocks is coming off the seat and circling around. So we're getting our abdominals working here too. Let's do two more. Exhaling out, inhaling, circling, and back in. Let's come back to the center here. You can place one hand on your chest, one hand on your belly. Letting those movement and breathing integrate into your body. Trying to let the tension melt away. Any discomfort. Letting it let go and release on each exhale. Noticing how that made your body feel. Awesome. Slowly coming back into the room, to the space here. So it's just another tool. Another thing to refocus on. You're both refocusing on your breathing and your movement, helping us stay present in the moment for a mindfulness practice. I really lean towards this type of mindfulness practice that gives that movement piece as well. But it's just another idea. See if it worked for you and if you like it, and try to practice those at home daily. All right. I hope you have a fabulous day in the windy, sunny Cowichan Valley today. And we'll see you next week. From all of us at Cowichan Brain Injury Society, keep that brain healthy. Bye.